Good morning, students. Yesterday's video we have seen that we have done an activity and we have seen that we have divided the class in four groups, right? And we have take a group A, then group B, then group C and group D. Okay, and we have seen in case of group A and B, the mixture obtained is a homogeneous mixture, and in case of group C and D, we have obtained a mixture which contain physically distinct parts and non-uniform composition. So such mixtures are called as the heterogeneous mixtures. Okay, so we are going to now study about further more things, but before that we have to understand this activity. We have to conduct this activity, and with the help of this activity we will be easily able to understand the things that are going to be there in the next topic. So activity 2.2 is there in your textbook. What does this says? Now again we have to divide the class in four groups: group A, B, C and D. Listen carefully. Okay, we have made four groups. Now distribute the following sample to each group. Okay, you have to imagine these things while I'm teaching you, I'm talking, so you have to imagine all these things. We have divided the class in four groups. So we now distribute the following sample to the group. Now I'll let you know which sample we will give to group A, group B, group C and group D. For group A, few crystals of copper sulfate to group A. First of all, we are just giving the solid components, nothing liquid, nothing else. We are just giving few crystals of copper sulfate to group A, one spatula full of copper sulfate to group B. We are giving the same thing to the both these groups, but the thing is the quantity is different. In case of this we are giving few crystal of copper sulfate, but in the second case we are giving the same thing but a full spatula full of copper sulfate. But quantity is more in case of B. C, chalk powder or you can say wheat flour to the group C, and for group D we will give few drops of milk or ink, you can say. Okay, so for these four groups we have given different things. Now what we have do now, each group should add the given sample in water. They have to add these things in the water only, and then they have to stir them properly using a glass rod. So now you have to see all the particles are the particles in the mixture visible. Now you have to, after adding them into the water, then you have to stir them properly so that they get mixed. Then you have to observe that all the particles in the mixture, they are visible or not. Then you have to take a beam of light. So you can take a torch for that. You just take a torch and pass that beam of light of that torch into the beaker which contain the mixture. Okay, and then you have to observe from the front. Okay, then you have to see, was the path of the beam of light visible? Okay, so in earlier videos I have told you the properties of mixture: heterogeneous, homogeneous. What are the properties of these two? So on the basis of these we will discuss here. Now what you need to do is, in next step it is written that leave the mixture undisturbed for a few minutes. Okay, so that they get settled down, and set up the filtration apparatus which is given here in your textbook. We'll discuss that later. So you have to leave the mixture undisturbed for some time. Okay, so is the mixture stable or do the particles begin to settle after some time? So you have to notice, when you let them undisturbed, what will happen? Does the particles stay getting settled down at the bottom, or there is no effect in the mixture? Okay, filter the mixture. Is there any residue on the filter paper, or discuss the result or form an opinion? So we'll discuss that later on, but here is the main observation in this. Group A and B have got a solution. Okay, three things we will come to know from this: solution, suspension and colloidal solution. Okay, so these three things are solution, suspension and colloidal solution. So now we have to understand what is solution, what is suspension, what is colloidal solution. They are saying group A and B have got a solution, means they just add crystal of copper sulfate to water and more quantity of copper sulfate into the water, means in that case what will you get? You will get a solution. Group B means chalk powder or some solid powder like form you have add to the water, chalk powder or wheat flour, like these items when you add to the water. So such type of solution is called the suspension. Sorry, not solution. Such type of mixture is called the suspension. And later on we will discuss about these also. And then group D, they got a colloidal solution. What was there in we have added drops of milk or ink in the group D. So in that case, whatever the mixture we will get, that will be a colloidal solution. Okay, so this was the result of your activity. So yesterday we have seen about the true solution. That what is a true solution? A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substance. So in case of solution, we have seen in the earlier video that there will be one solute, there will be solvent, and when we mix them together we get a solution. So smaller quantity is known as solute, the bigger quantity is known as solvent, and when we mix them we get the solution. So in that case you can see here that there are certain properties of true solution. Okay, it's a homogeneous mixture, can not be seen by naked eyes, they cannot be separated by filtration, the particles do not settle down, they do not scatter the beam of light passing through it, and the path of light is not visible. Okay, so this we already have discussed in earlier. Now comes to I told you about let's see first of all suspension. So group B, we said that group C has got a suspension. So in that case what we have added? We have added chalk powder and wheat flour to the water. So a suspension is a heterogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Okay, what kind of mixture? It is a heterogeneous mixture of two or more substances. For example, solution of sand in water, solution of chalk powder in water. So such type of solutions are known as, such type of mixtures are known as suspension. So what is this property of suspension? Suspension is a heterogeneous mixture. Particles can be seen by naked eyes. Okay, so when you dissolve the chalk powder into water, so you can see the particles of chalk with your naked eyes. So solute particles can be separated by filtration. Okay, if you filter that suspension, so the solute particles can be separated. The solute particles settle down and the solution is unstable. So what we have done at the end of the activity, that we have to let the mixture undisturbed, and we have to observe after some time what will happen. In the case of suspension, the solute particle, they will settle down, and particles scatter the beam of light passing through it. In solution we have seen that they do not scatter the beam of light passing through it, but in case of suspension it scatters the beam of light that will pass through it. So that is known as suspension. Then comes the colloidal solution. We have seen that group D, that has got a colloidal solution. So what is a colloidal solution? A colloidal solution is a heterogeneous mixture of two or more substances. Okay, example is, means all these three forms are the forms of heterogeneous mixture. First of all, we have seen that there are two types of mixture. First is homogeneous mixture and second is heterogeneous, and we have seen the properties of them also. So first of all, just go through them, just understand them. So if you understand that, you can easily understand this. So these three are the types of heterogeneous mixture. So colloidal solution is a heterogeneous mixture, and particles cannot be seen by naked eyes. Okay, colloidal means when you add milk to the water, so can you see the particles with your naked eyes? No. Solute particle cannot be separate. If you filter that, you add some water, add some milk drops in the water, if you try to filter that, you cannot filter them. Okay, the solute particle, obviously they do not settle down and the solution is stable. The particles scatter the beam of light passing through it, and the path of light is visible. But this colloidal solution, they scatter the beam of light that pass through it. So that is known as colloidal solution. Okay. So this was about this was related to the activity. First of all, if you understand the activity, on the basis of activity you will able to understand what is solution, what is suspension, and what is colloidal solution. But all these three mixtures are heterogeneous mixtures. Okay, so here this is given the process of this suspension. Solute particles can be separated by filtration like this. You have to take a funnel, then you have to add a filter paper around this funnel. Okay, then you have to keep some beaker. You can take a test tube also. Filter paper should be there around the funnel. So you have to take a glass rod, and along with the glass rod you will pour the mixture. So in this way you can filter. Means suppose in group C you have got a suspension, means chalk powder was added into the water. So in that case, if you filter that, so what will happen, the chalk powder will remain on the filter paper, and the liquid, that other filtrate solution other water will be get into this beaker. Okay, solute particles settle down and solution is unstable. So when you add this, so in case of suspension, what will happen, when you stir them, that will be like this. Okay, but when you left them settle down for some time, that will be like this. This is a simple example of sand in the water. When you add some sand particles in the water and you stir them, so first of all they will keep on moving in the, but when you let them, they will settle down. Then we have seen that they scatter the beam of light. So you can see here scattering of light. In the second case, there is a scattering of light, right? The path of light is visible. Solute particles scatter the beam, scatter light, and the path of light is, you can see here, the path of light is visible. Okay, so this was all about suspension. Then comes a very important, that is Tyndall effect. On the basis of this only, if you understand this scattering of light, this you can easily understand the Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect, actually it is named after the scientist who discovered this effect. Okay, what this Tyndall effect is, when a beam of light is passed through a colloidal solution, right? When a beam of light is passed through a colloidal solution, so you have to see that Tyndall effect is there only when there is a solution which is colloidal. Okay, and there will be a colloidal solution. When a beam of light is passed through a colloidal solution, the colloid particles scatter the beam of light, and the path of light becomes visible in the solution. So this effect is called the Tyndall effect. Okay. Tyndall effect can be seen when light enters a room through a small hole due to scattering of light by dust and smoke particle. Tyndall effect can be seen in a dense forest due to scattering of light by water droplets in the mist. So what does this mean? How does this Tyndall effect happens? Means how this path of light is visible. So you can see this, if you see this second one. Okay, means there's a dark room and only one slit or window is there, and when the light enters in that, so you can see the path of the light. This is the path of light. Okay, so you can see this. Why? Because the particles at this place, they scatter the light. Okay, the particles, they are present here, they scatter the light, and just because of that scattering we are able to see the path of the light, and this is known as Tyndall effect. This same thing happens here also, in this case also. Dense forest is there, and just now here, in case of, we know that there are trees, there are forests, so scattering of light is done by the water droplets present in the mist. So obviously there will be more moisture will be just because of the water droplets. So whenever this light fall on these water droplets, they also scatter the beam of light. So if beam of light is scattered, then what will happen? In that case, the path of the light will be visible. So this effect is called the Tyndall effect. Okay. So all these four are the examples of Tyndall effect, where you can see the Tyndall effect. It means in case of this solution, colloidal solution, in case of this, and in case of this dense forest, and in case of colloidal solution. Okay. So this was about Tyndall effect. Then comes the saturated solution. So we will discuss this in the next video.